very nice bounce-back win for the Phils as the Bats did come alive. Welcome here to Phillies Postgame Live, brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Amy Fiddle, Ricky Patalico. It is Rob Thomson's 60th birthday, and they get him the win.
Good timing.
Yeah, very good timing. I mean, 9 runs, that's more than they've had in the last 5 games, it feels like.
You know what's funny? I was looking at yesterday, and the game yesterday, there was not a ball hit 100 miles an hour by the Phillies. Tonight, on the other hand, 10. They had 10 balls hit at least 100 miles per hour exit velocity. That says you're hitting the ball hard. That's what I like to see. I like to see what happened with Bryce Harper. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's beautiful. And they got a little help from Espinal on defense in that one inning where they scored 3 and took the lead. But I will say this much. It took a little bit of everybody. I like what happened at the top of the lineup. At least those guys put in some run production. They put up some RBIs, some runs. That's what you want to see. You want to see more of the big names kind of jumping into the fray. They did that tonight. It was a good all-around game for the Phillies.
It was a good one to have. Bryce Harper, it was his first time that he's had more than 1 home run, 2 home runs or more since June 3rd, 2022. Seems like a long time ago. How long ago? A little context for you. That was Rob Thomson's first game as manager after taking over. That
is a long time ago. And they did it against a good pitcher. I mean, Kevin Gausman's a good pitcher. Yes. I thought he elevated way too many pitches. He was kind of hanging a lot of his splits, so that was good news for the Phillies. Phillies took advantage of it. And I mean, all in all, you look at this game and you say to yourself, well, they got down early. Let's see what happens. Can they come back? They get a lead. Nola gives it up. They get a lead. Nola gives it. And then all of a sudden you take a lead and bang, you kind of put the nail in the coffin later on.
We're going to hear from Rob Thomson coming up, but you mentioned it, the top of the lineup, which had been really struggling. The whole lineup, though, as a whole, you're looking at really struggling with runners in scoring position. Coming in, they were 0 for 21. Tonight, 4 for 8.
4 for 8. It's a miracle.
I mean, that really it is when you're looking at this 3-game losing streak, and even before when they were scuffling, even in the wins.
Well, let's think about this game. We're watching this game early on, and Castellanos had doubled. Stott hits a double, and that was their first hit with runners in scoring position in 4 days, I believe, and it didn't score the run. There wasn't a person up. We were all watching this game saying, what is going on? This guy just doubles off the wall, and Castellanos moved over 90 feet. That's almost impossible. It's almost impossible what happened. And then
he scored later. So.
Yeah, he ended up scoring later, but they only scored 1 in that inning. But nonetheless, I mean, the Phillies got the job done. It seemed like they got into a better flow as the game went on. And a lot of crooked numbers. That's what you want to see.
Absolutely. Let's go up to Toronto and the Rogers Center and check in with Ben Davis. And Ben, we're talking about, obviously, the top of the lineup coming alive. You're looking at 5 RBI between those top 4 hitters. Bryce Harper, 2 home runs, both solo shots. What did you see from them that maybe gives you a little bit like, all right, that was a little bit more of a blip, but it's in the past now for that 3-game losing streak?
One thing this team is so good at is putting things in the rearview mirror, and you saw it tonight. I said I take this as a challenge to this lineup tonight because they kind of had it, shoved against them the last 3 games, for lack of a better term, and they came out tonight with guns a-blazing. The approach was there, the getting good pitches, the hit was there. They did everything right. I know that Schwarber and Rojas didn't have any hits. They were the only ones in the lineup didn't have hits, but they still contributed. Schwarber with the sacrifice fly, Rojas getting the bunt down and playing tremendous center field again. These are the things that you need. Everyone else contributing, blistering the baseball all over the field. It was good to see in the fact that Gausman didn't have his best stuff. But the Phillies took advantage of that. They weren't over-swinging. Gausman he leads the league in strikeouts, the American League. Now with 187 strikeouts, he only struck out 4 Phillies tonight. So that's saying something that their approach was there. They had a good idea of what to look for. I think facing him back in May helped them out. They had a good idea of how he was going to get pitched. And it didn't look good early on, but they came around. They took advantage of Espinal's mistake at third base. You'd like to see that. Bryson Stott busting it out of the box and putting pressure on Espinal to make the play. He short hops Guerrero, another 2-run score, 2 unearned runs. It was just a perfect storm tonight for the Phillies, and obviously the bullpen did a tremendous job as well, which I know makes you happy, Ricky.
Yes, it was very nice. Ben, I have to talk to you about last night watching Bryce Harper. He was doing that little dance in the box when his feet are kind of moving all over the place. Did not look comfortable last night. I thought his hands actually looked slow last night. What changed from one day to the next?
Well, he said he's had a tough time staying behind the baseball. And
How, there's been a lot of talk about moving Kyle Schwarber off that leadoff spot. He came into this game batting 181, and then you saw the first two at-bats, struck out looking. Then he comes through, and it seems like Rob Thomson rewarded a bit by sticking with the lineup. Does that say something to you about how this lineup needs to respond and to how they can respond?
I think it shows how they can respond, and yes, they did need to respond because it's been a rough 3 games and basically just not a whole lot going on, if anything going on offensively. Just the 4 hits last night, it just wasn't looking good. You're thinking, okay, they're going up against Gossman. It's not looking good either, but they were able to take advantage today. I think they took today as a challenge. Like, look yourself in the mirror type of deal. Hey, we got to go to D.C. We do have an off day tomorrow. Let's go make the most of it. That's really, put our at-bats together, string them together, have good quality at-bats. I mean, look what some of these guys did tonight. Cave with the 0-2 sacrifice fly to left field. All he was trying to do is put something in play. Then he comes up with a runner on second, let nobody out. He's just trying to advance. Who was it? It was on second base. I forget who it was, but trying to advance them to third base with less than 2 outs. It was JT on second base after he hit the double. He gets the bonus plan and gets a knock out of it, and then that led to that big inning. So, he's contributing. It's just, again, I think they took this as a, we got to put up or shut up here, and they put it up tonight. Yeah,
it was fun to see those bats coming to life finally. Day off tomorrow, and then, of course, to face the Nationals. Thanks, Ben. We'll see you soon.
My pleasure.
Let's check out the wild card. It's a little dark up there in Toronto.
It's a little dark.
Turn the lights off. You don't get a win. That's what happens. So now, thanks to the win, we knew they came in with that lead because the Giants lost earlier to the Rays, so they have 2 games clear of the Giants. And you think the Giants are going to fade pretty
I think the Giants are going to fade. I think the Giants are going to fade.
You think the Cubs could come up?
I think the Phillies just have to play steady baseball, over 500 baseball, and they'll have the first wild card. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I don't care how many games over 500. If you're 2 games over 500 from now to the end of the season, you will have that first wild card. I believe that. I saw a lot of those type of at-bats today. They were almost throwback at-bats today. And
From all these guys, the big hitters?
Yeah, I would say like throwback in the sense that they weren't going for the launch angle today. They were just trying to hit the ball square, trying to backspin the baseball. They did it very well. I mean, you saw the ball carrying out, especially into left center, where Merrifield was having a horrible time out there in the outfield, trying to figure out how far the ball was going, what kind of angles to take to the ball. But that's because the Phillies were hitting the ball hard.
Yeah, and that's a big ballpark out there. So there was a couple of those that were warning track, and you thought might have been out anywhere else. But that's a good sign.
It was the roof.
Exactly. That's
the
right.
roof
When
was
it's open and it's not open, obviously sometimes it knocks those balls down. But it's a good sign going forward. Obviously, they have the Nationals, a team that they should, on paper, take care of pretty easily. But going into an off day, how much of a difference maker is it when you've been on a skid to just get a win before you get on that plane?
It's always nice. I mean, it's getaway day from wherever you're leaving from is almost, that's the day you needed to get a win. So everybody's happy getting on the jet and you have a nice flight wherever you're going. Because at times, if you get on that flight when you're losing, then everybody's probably looking at their iPads and trying to look at the tablet of what did I do wrong in each and every at-bat. And then it's a grind. I mean, they have a day off tomorrow. Enjoy your time. Enjoy your flight. Get into Washington, D.C. and you know what? Enjoy each other's company. Have a good off day tomorrow. Go see the sights. Go to the Lincoln Memorial. Go to the Washington Monument. Go to the White House. Do whatever you got to do to relax yourself.
Poor guy. Who knew? You take a Segway tour maybe?
Probably do a Ruth Chris down there. There's plenty of places.
Yeah, maybe the Palm. You don't know.
There you go. You never know.
Old Everett Room. You can go all kinds of crazy stuff
down there.
Could
be a really nice Thursday.
It could be a nice little Thursday. Maybe Bed Bath & Beyond if there's time.
Never know.
Let's go check in with the birthday guy himself. That would be Rob Thomson. Happy 60th.
So were you happy with the at-bats tonight?
I really was. Gosman's a good pitcher. I mean, he's really good. And, we scored some runs. Every time we scored, they seemed to score, and then we ended up stopping them, and we just kept scoring. So I really liked the at-bats. We hit the home runs, Harp with a multiple home run game, Cave with a solo shot. But we scored some runs in other ways too. 2 sac flies, sacrifice bunt, which excuse me, which that guy ended up scoring. So I really liked the way we played tonight, and I really liked our bats. Our defense was solid. Noel's got hurt with walks today a little bit, made him really work, and built his pitch count up. But our bullpen was fantastic. So it was a great win against a really good club, and we win. We split this series, but we win the season series, so it's good.
Paul mentioned yesterday the importance of capitalizing on mistakes, like the few mistakes that good pitchers make, and it seemed like they did a good job. The lineup as a whole did a good job.
Yeah, I think so. And because, as I've said about Nola, every pitcher makes mistakes. It's, you just got to capitalize on it. And unfortunately for Knowles, it seems like people are taking advantage of his mistakes a little bit more than normal. But it was nice to see that our guys do it tonight.
You mentioned scoring in various different ways, and of course the home runs don't hurt,
Yeah.
but against Gosman, a guy it's difficult to get that sort of contact against him. What does that say about the identity of this lineup?
Yeah, I mean, we can do a lot of different things, and maybe the benefit of not hitting home runs early in the year was the fact that we had to create runs at certain times, and so that's good for the club. It just shows that you can do that sort of thing, because once you get down the stretch and into the playoffs, I mean, sometimes that's what you're going to have to do.
What did you think of the bullpen tonight? I think they only had
Fantastic.
one hit.
Yeah, Strom was great. He just came in, settled the game right down, and then Kimbrel was now Strom and Kimbrel and Soto. If they hadn't pitched today, Kimbrel would have been on 4 days rest going into Washington, and Soto and Strom would be on 5 days rest. So they really needed to pitch today, so it worked out well.
Did you know Kimbrel had that defense in him, like when he ran?
Wow, he looked really athletic
Yeah,
on that
speedy.
play. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else is there to say about Bryce Harper, his first multi-homer game of the year? But
Yeah, and he went to his 2-strike approach on the last one, no stride, and that was nice to see, because I really believe in that for him. I mean, it really keeps his head still, and obviously he doesn't lose any power with it, so it was good.
You mentioned the walks, but what did you think about Nola's outing overall?
I thought for the most part he threw the ball well. He got ahead of the hitters for the most part, but they grinded on him a little bit, and he got to some 3-ball counts, and then ended up walking some guys, which made him work even harder. So, but overall, I thought his stuff was okay.